All right, guys, so a lot of you have been to a banquet before. We're basically doing a very similar thing to what we've done in the past, just without the parents or the food, you know, and all that, or the girls. So captains are gonna talk a little bit about the season. They're gonna give out a bunch of awards. Gonna talk a little bit about coaches and all that, and then I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna give out a bunch of awards. So if you haven't met these guys, this is Colin, Tim, Kale, and AJ.
Hi guys.
So they're up.
Go first. Do the grade first, yeah. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the freshmen. So can we have all the freshmen come up here and like socially distance in a line?
Yeah, freshmen.
All right, so I think the freshmen had a really good season overall. It's already hard being a freshman, and then on top of that, having all the new restrictions and having all the new protocols makes it even more difficult. And I think these freshmen did a really good job adjusting. It would be super easy just to call it a year and to give up and kind of use the situation to their advantage, but I think all of them stayed committed throughout the season, and it was a really good showing, and this is the future of the team. So it's really important to have a strong freshman group, and I think these guys definitely demonstrated it. Overall, I think if they keep up this attitude, which you all had, it's going to be a really good team dynamic in the future. Everybody was super positive on the freshman class, and there was no real complaining, and there was no infamous freshman mistakes, which I think is good. And I think the future of the team definitely looks bright. So let's give a hand for the freshmen.
And don't turn away from the crowd. Keep turning towards the freshmen.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sophomores. So if all the sophomores can come up, that'd be great.
Speak loud, Jimmy.
All right, so the sophomores here have really stepped up from being freshmen. I think they've taken on a lot more leadership, a lot more even just potential that they've achieved through pushing themselves a little harder than they did when they were freshmen, which is really important to the future of our team. Especially, a lot of these guys have made their way up the ranks and really distanced themselves from what they were as once from freshmen. And some of them will definitely be leading the team eventually. I can just see from these guys that we're going to have a really good potential team atmosphere and a really good potential record too. So I just make sure you guys really put in that work and continue exceeding expectations.
Can the juniors please come up?
Guys, give a hand to Coach Egan. He just showed up.
Okay, it's been an honor to run with this junior group for the past 3 years. They're a really smart and funny group, and there's a lot of them, and it's been great how many have returned year after year. And the one thing that stood out to me about the juniors this year was just how many of them trained hard over the summer, and we didn't know if we were going to have a season. So it was motivational to watch them train on Strava and just seeing them around town. So juniors, please keep up the hard work and think about the type of team you want to have next year, the type of atmosphere and who you want to compete with. And remember that for the rest of your training this year, and you guys will do great.
I'd like to welcome the seniors to the stand.
So, when I was thinking about what to say to you guys after 4, maybe 3, maybe 2 years of being with you guys on this team, there was a lot. There was a lot of things I could have thought of. I was thinking about like back to pasta parties when we'd screw around, play football, and do stuff like that. Thinking back to cheering for each other at Wachusett when we ran down the asphalt hill and up the trails. Thinking back to when we've cheered hard, tried to pass each other, tried to beat each other in competition. It's all been really incredible. So Cole, Zane, and Shao, in just 2 years, you guys have made this team all the more incredible, all the better. And the only thing I can think back to is, if only you guys had been here for a bit longer. So it's been a true honor to run with you guys. Jacob, it's been 3 years, I believe, and you've been one of my closest friends on the team. It's been great to be running with you here and to experience this with you and trying to race against you as you put my feet to the fire at the end of seasons. And of course, Tim, AJ, Colin, Dan, Adish, Shoal, Joey, and Noah.
Yeah.
It's been one of the greatest honors of my life so far to run with you guys. We've raced each other, we've trained for each other. I've wanted nothing more than to beat some of you and for you to beat me. I will never forget how awesome it's been to run with you guys. Your names will be burned into my head. And also Mac Donati. It's been an honor, and I'm glad to have shared this with all of you.
All right, so now I'm going to go over some of my favorite moments from the season. I think it's pretty easy to get bogged down by all the negative stuff that happened this season, but I think it's important to look up to the positive things that have changed. So, for example, today we're here at the cross-country course, which I think is super special for a banquet. It's not ideal, and there's no photos of Tim or me throwing a loogie up on the screen behind me that we can all chuckle at, but I think being here, looking down at the course, and thinking about all the races that we've had is really important. I think my favorite moment of the season was the famous jump into the lake. I think George was a great addition to the team, and I think we all did really good adjusting to him, and I think that we did an incredible job just creating that team atmosphere through this really challenging time. And I think everybody here deserves to give themselves a pat on the back for that. And I think going forward, we really need to keep this attitude. And we did a really good job with all the protocols. It can be really hard to wear a mask sometimes, especially running. And I think everybody really had the right idea, and everybody really executed that well. So again, you guys should pat yourself on the back for that. Jumping in the lake was, I think, one of the first moments on the team where we all came together for something. And it's really hard to do during these negative times. And we all came through together to do that. A lot of great support from everybody throughout the entire team. It was great to see everybody cheering along on the course throughout the meet. We got recognized by the other coaches from other teams about our sportsmanship and the way that we handle ourselves. And although we didn't win as many meets as we wanted to this year, I think that sportsmanship and our character is way more defining for who we are as a team. And I'd rather wear the W on my chest and consider myself a Ranger, knowing that I stand for sportsmanship rather than just winning. I'm going to give out my captain's award now. So this young gentleman who I'm going to give my award to had two very similar races this season. One was the Algonquin race and one was the Twilight race. Both races in which he ran were very similar in the sense that he was up front dueling it out for most of the race until the end. And it's extremely challenging to do that. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, especially when you're a freshman on the team. And I think that if this person keeps that up throughout the rest of their running career, they're going to be very, very successful. and it's going to be super easy to call it quits when you're not winning, or when you're winning a race and then lose it right at the end. It's super easy to be discouraged, but I think that David Hilfinger did a really, really good job this season, and I'd like to give him my captain's award. So if you want to come on up. I would shake your hand, but can't do that. I'm going to give you this roller as my gift to you to better yourself as a runner. I think there's so much more ability in yourself that you might not see, and I urge you to continue to train and to continue to put in the miles, however hard it may be, and just to stick with it, because running is not an easy sport and you don't see results overnight. And I think if you stick with it and do the little things that count, you're really going to be a great runner. So here you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little about the season too. And I'd just like to say, to start off, similar to what AJ said, is that I'm like super proud to have a team as resilient as all you guys. I mean, we walked over summer training. I mean, even that, just like running every day when you don't even know there's a season, that's really hard to do. And I'm really proud that I'm a part of a team that really put in the effort to do that. To be so resilient, to even, I mean, the teams that we were against were more difficult than any other team we have faced before, and we still really had confidence going into those races, really put that work in. And even though we might have not won every race, we certainly gave them a run for their money, and I'm really proud of the fact that we even still had fun in the midst of this crisis, and also in the midst of just our own high school lives, and getting in some fun running, getting in some fun races, even with everything else happens. And like AJ said, I'm just really proud about the sportsmanship. This is probably the first season where I haven't heard someone complaining about running or workouts or anything like that, even though it's been one of the toughest seasons that I've ever run before. So I'm pretty proud about that. And that's kind of a defining moment for me, where a defining moment for me was when the Shrewsbury race, actually. A lot of us encountered a lot of obstacles partway through the race, whether that be through the coach or through the course, or for me falling and like scraping on my leg. Like all of us, I saw every one of us encounter at least one obstacle that way, even if it was just a hill that seemed to last like a mile. And so I was really proud of you guys. That was a defining moment of just how resilient we've all become and how it's bettered me as a person, and I think it's bettering all of you. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about my captain's award. So I've known this guy for 2 years now, and he's always been chasing me, or I've always been chasing him, and it's been quite the challenge, and one that I won't always admit, but it's really it's hard to, or he's always pushing me to my max, and it's always something when I get to beat him, and it's always something when he gets to beat me. So he really sprouted this year. He became one of the top, if not the top runner in our team, and he has great potential for years to come. And I think that he's gonna really put the team and push and become a really good leader out there. And yeah, so I got him something that resembles him. He's really pushing the team to his max, so he's carrying our team on his back. And so that's why I got him a backpack to carry all of us. And but just to ground him a little bit, I still called him a child on here, so so Michael, if you don't know. And I got you might need to loosen those straps a little bit if they do.
the dog.
Okay, well.
Here, all my stuff.
So thank you to all of you guys for joining this team, being a part of this team. And I was really, really excited at the end of the summer when it was finally announced that we would be able to have some sort of season. And I know a lot of people were too, a lot of people training the whole summer. And I think what I'll remember from the season was the ways we were able to adapt in the moments we did have. We still competed against our team like we usually do really well, and only half the team really got to run against other teams. But I think when we did, people showed up really excited for each meet we had the opportunity to run. And to the people that didn't get to really race directly against another team, I commend you for still keeping your enthusiasm up and finding ways to race against more people in Westboro and still be motivated, because part of running is changing who you race against. And if you guys keep running, I think you're going to find a lot of success once you can do that. And looking forward to the future, it's going to be a pretty long winter with a lot of Zoom classes right now, 4 weeks. So if we can keep training and keep talking to each other, talk to the people you ran with this year, and let us captains know, or other people on the team, how your running's going over the winter. And let's keep on checking in with each other, and I think it'll make that stretch of this school year a lot more enjoyable and a lot nicer. And for my captain's award, I'm giving my award to someone on the team that's really inspirational to me, and he's someone who shows up to practice every day, enthusiastic. He always comes ready to run. He's happy, he's funny, and he actually takes the time to really learn other people's PRs. It's surprising how many people's PRs he knows. And because he cares so much about other people, he knows when they're having a great day, he knows when they need some words of encouragement, and he's quick to talk to other people and connect with them. And it's been really great to run with him the past couple seasons, and I'm really glad he joined the team and brought his energy. So that person is Mr. Jack Kelly. And it's in a bag, but I got him. There's a lot more of these, but more candy than he probably deserves. And that's it.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you for being a great. Yeah. All right, thank you.
So I think at this point you've probably heard quite a lot about the season and resilience and our ability to overcome the changes that were due to COVID-19. So I'll just give you one short extra perspective. Whenever I came to practice, I do remote schooling, so I don't really have much else involvement with school during my day besides WHS and such. So whenever I come here, I'm wondering, what's it going to be like? Is it going to be hectic? Is it going to be different? And yet every day when I come, it's always relatively normal. It's simply just people chatting with masks on, yes, doing warm-ups in different cohorts, yes, running with specific people, yes, but it's all just practice at the end of the day. It's the same talks from Newt about our PRs, it's the same camaraderie, it's the same joking around, it's the same awesomeness that's made this team so great for the last however many years it's existed. And that ability to not just overcome challenges, but to treat it with normalcy is something which is truly remarkable in the world. And it's something that's truly remarkable and indelible about this team. So thank you all for making this another awesome season and not just an interesting season. So with that in mind, I think I should also mention that it was incredibly difficult to decide on who to give my award to, and I'm sure that all the other captains would be of the same opinion. You guys all come out here to run to work hard, to train, to race, to do so many things in a relatively short period of time and do them well. It's hard really to decide like who deserves the award, who deserves special recognition. So for that, I think you should give yourselves a round of applause. Nonetheless, this individual stood out to me for a defining characteristic that's already been mentioned, but I think is important to mention again, that is resilience. This individual stood out because they always were trucking through something, whether that be multiple injuries before, after, during seasons, whether they had to struggle through their own training to get better, to run harder, to get the PRs that they wanted. They always were working. They always did it with a smile on their face. They always did it willingly and with fervor. Whenever they weren't able to run because of an injury, they were on the sidelines cheering hard. Whenever they were running hard, and you could see it in their face. It was incredible to watch this athlete this season get the second fastest junior PR. It's been incredible to watch them succeed again and again throughout seasons. It's been an absolute honor to run with them. And it's something that will definitely stand in my mind when I think back to these seasons and think back to the people who I was able to experience this team with. And for those reasons, this award goes to WHS. Now, as some of you may know, I am a fanny pack aficionado. I proudly wear a fanny pack every single day to practice with all of the medicine and phones that I need. And so to that end, Rahul, I've gotten you a very nice fanny pack. And of course, your certificate. Thank you.
All right, so I have the honor to talk about Coach Isaac Grossner. Isaac Grossner is a former athlete on this team and is now assistant coach, and I think he was a welcomed addition to the team this year. He is very fast. First time I saw him, I was talking with a couple other the guys on the team, and we were concerned for varsity spots because he looked like a very fast transfer. So that was our first impression of Isaac, but he became a really good friend, a really good person to talk to. Seeing as though he just got out of college and ran very fast in college, he was a great person to seek advice from. And he was just a welcomed addition to the team this year. I remember one time getting after practice, I had a couple holes in my socks, and I was talking about this, and then Isaac promptly took off his shoe and showed us his Swiss cheese that he calls socks. I mean, there were more holes than there were socks at that point. And I know that on his coach's salary and Newt's landscaping business salary, it might be hard to afford socks at this point. And fresh out of college, I know that's hard. So I got you a pair of socks from PR Running. Just wanted to thank you for being a great coach and a great person to talk to on this team this year.
It's been an honor.
You want to go? Oh, yeah.
So, let me tell you some stories about Coach Egan and I. Now in freshman year, I was a big fan of dressing up for meets. And I still kind of am, although quarantine has kind of hit that a bit harder. I used to wear like full dress socks, dress shoes, dress pants, I had the tie, the dress shirt. I was set. And to this day, I've only missed one meet for dressing up. Yet, Coach Egan is a very strenuous individual when it comes to this matter. In the pre-COVID times, he used to patrol around school during the day on meet day to see who was wearing their stuff or not. I don't know if he still does this. Yet he always managed to encounter me when I had already changed out of it. First time was when I had preemptively only taken off my tie for gym. I was just walking down the stairs into the gym, into the locker room, took off the tie. Of course, who's walking up but Coach Egan? And he starts to give me a little bit of business. Like, why aren't you wearing your stuff? He points me out. Of course, I'm a freshman, so I'm nervous, I'm insecure. It It was brutal. I was like, what? Like, this is unfair. So then the next meet, he only saw me when we were getting ready to go on the bus. So he was already suspicious. And I guess it was guilty until proven innocent in this case, because I went back to the locker room, grabbed my tie, showed it to him, and he thought I had stolen it from somebody else. The most ridiculous time of this, though, was when we had a pep rally. And I'm a part of the marching band, so I was playing in the pep rally. And I was all smart that day. I had worn my dress stuff over my marching band shirt. So I go down, we do the pep rally, I had taken off my dress shirt and I was playing the trumpet, you know, moving around, all that sort of stuff. And then I'm walking back up to the class I was in previously to grab my dress shirt, put it back on. Who's the one person on the main stairwell to give me business? Coach Egan. So multiple times it has been a matter. And at this point, this may sound more like a roast than some sort of recognition of a great coach. But I bring up these stories for a reason. Whether it be dressing up or ridiculously excruciating core exercises, it goes to show how much he really cares about this as a team. And I am sure I'm not the only person with stories such as these of strenuity about dress wear or doing very long core exercises. So to prove it to you, let me share one more story. It was the day before a meet in freshman year, and I had some random question for Newt about bus logistics or something like that. The question was irrelevant. Newt, meanwhile, was giving his normal spiel to varsity, telling them, you know, run slow up the hills, run fast down them, make sure you watch for any rocks, blah, blah, blah. But then, meanwhile, I'm over there, like, standing awkwardly, like, waiting for my turn, basically. And so Coach Egan comes over, and he answers the question, but I'll never forget how he ended his answer. If you ever have a question, I'm always here. And over the last 4 years, that has been the most evident phrase I've heard from a coach, a captain, a mentor, a teacher, anybody. It has been consistently proven true that he is here to help us as a team and to be a coach that you can always respect. So thank you, Coach Egan. Of course, to fit the theme, I have a fanny pack for you too. That one's got like a water holder, you know, large pocket, everything you'll ever need.
Oh, thank you so much.
So me and Colin kind of combined a gift for Coach Newt. And there's a few things I'd like to say about Coach Newt. So my running, all of my cross country, indoor track, outdoor track, I've had some problems throughout all of it. And I can say one thing for certain is that Coach Newt steps out of his way, steps out of coaching. He does more than just that. He makes sure that every one of us is mentally okay and everything like that outside of running, and making sure that he helps us as a person more than just an athlete. And I think that's really important in a coach, is someone who's not just there for the sport, but someone who's there for the actual team of itself. And that's why I thought of giving him this gift.
So Coach Newt, along with Coach Egan and Coach Isaac, put in a lot of effort this season, before when we couldn't see, during the season, to make sure we'd still have the opportunities to practice normally, to have real meets, and just still enjoy running the way we have in the past. And Coach Newt has always gone above and beyond to try to teach people to find something they love about running, to make it more than just filling in your minimum miles for the practice. It's a lot more than that. And it's special to be able to run with a coach for 3 seasons a year, and to be able to run under a coach with the passion and knowledge of Coach Newt is just really awesome. and I know all of us are really thankful to have him on the team, leading our team. And he's funny and wise and a great coach. And we got him a lot of spikes, like 200 and like 1,000 safety pins and candy, because I didn't think Jack Kelly should eat that much candy. So you can come get it.
Thank you very much.
Not all these.
You guys all good? All right, we're all good. All right, guys. So, first of all, as I normally do, well, normally I would introduce myself, but you guys know who I am at this point.
What's your first name? Wait, I know that.
Mr.
Mr. What's the middle name?
Yes, but normally I start off by recounting the season. Now, I think this was a very successful season. Number one, because Max Donati did not get injured. I think that is very important. He's now made it through 2 cross-country seasons without getting injured. So just, I'm going to kind of go through a bunch of the stuff. You kind of run through the different meets of the season and just talk about different things that I thought were good about different aspects of the season. Now, as you remember, we started off meeting at the high school every day, which was different. We were kind of crammed in that area, and then myself and the other coaches and the captains decided we'd like to get up here better, which I think really worked out nicely this season. I thought the sway thing was if you guys could have seen yourselves standing in all these rows, all of a sudden holding your phones like this, and I looked around and I went, what the heck is going on? And then I thought Tim was losing it. He goes like this. I thought he was going to throw his phone. You guys started doing all this weird stuff. It was really fun to watch. Hopefully you guys get to see other people do that at some point. So first meet we ran against Wachusett. We had it here. We didn't know how the meet was going to go. It went really well. I was really happy with how it went that day. We kind of briefly recognized our seniors that day because at that point of the season we really weren't sure how long the season was going to go. We just didn't know what the fall was going to look like, and it ended up working out really well. The big thing about that particular meet is that the athletic director was here, the assistant athletic director was here, and the Wachusett coach all commented that our team did a great job. We were cheering on the Wachusett kids at the end of the meet, and they were not expecting that. I think you guys actually do expect that we would do that, which I really am very proud of you guys about that. So that was really awesome. It was really nice to hear that Coach Wallace from Wachusett has been coaching longer than I've been alive. So, yeah, he's been around a long time. So, and he's a great coach and a great guy, and it was really nice to hear that from him. So, yeah, he's been around a long time. Second meet, we ran Leominster. Leominster was a lot of fun. I like that course a lot. The guys that went there, I think it's a really nice course. It turned out to be a little more challenging than some of you guys expected. Partially, the course itself, and partially is that we didn't have the competition, so it's actually kind of hard to run really well just alone. But it was a really nice day overall, and I think we ran pretty well. The next day we ran that JV meet back here, and that was a big day. Timothy had a huge PR that day. That was our first time we did the JV meet on its own. We did it after the middle school meet. That went really well. It was fun. Third meet was Algonquin, and that Algonquin kid was actually I thought he was going to break the course record at one point, but didn't quite get it. But he ran really well. Now that day was awesome because almost the entire team, our team, had their best race of the season to that point that day, which is really cool to see. Everybody ran really well, and even with the different restrictions we have, you guys ran really well, so that was a lot of fun. My favorite race that day was watching our two freshmen, our top two freshmen, duke it out. Now, you guys all saw them race. It was pretty cool because they looked like two veteran, like older guys racing side by side, running really well, knowing what they were doing, and they have not run that many races. So that was really awesome to see. So nice job to you guys that day. Actually, I'm going to bring up Cooper and Michael now. So you guys can give out your award.
So if you guys didn't know, the golden shoe that's given out every year to the best freshman who works the hardest and shows like the most perseverance. And this year was a bit different, but this person still managed to work hard and get through like the challenges that we all faced and like impact the team consistently. So yeah, I want to give this year's, not much space left on here after quite a few recipients, but this year's recipient of the golden shoe is Eli Viversik. I have a similar award to Michael. This shoe goes out not too often. There's one from 2003, another from 2013, and then one last year from 2019 that I had. So I think this person was a very good competitor for Eli, and I thought they were really good at when they ran side by side, and it was really good to see. And I thought that it was really important that they both were competitors this season, so that they both pushed each other each meet to go faster and faster, and it really turned out that way. So I want to give my award out to David Hilfinger.
So the golden shoe was something they started giving out, I think, when I got it the second year in 95. 95 season was the second year they gave it out. And it used to be this ratty old running shoe that somebody painted gold. Coach Hebert upgraded them to nicer shoes. And then occasionally we'll have a year we've got two freshmen that stand out really well, so we give out two of them. So nice job, guys. All right, so moving on, Shrewsbury meet. So Shrewsbury, this time we did our JV meet the day before. So this was the day that we all remember it finally happened. It was a lot of fun. George finally ran his 3 laps. Yep, man. So if you remember, George came through 2 laps, actually substantially faster than he had ever done. And then he was done. He stopped. And you people convinced him to run another lap so I would have to jump in the water. 3-mile race today.
Yeah! Go for it!
You're suffering the consequences.
George, say the line. Go jump in the lake, dude!
Yeah!
Get away from the wet men. Get away from the wet men. Damn, he just soaked George. He just soaked George. Yeah, bro. Ah!
This is your fault. But what was awesome is you guys got him out there, and then he ran an entire mile, and then basically the whole team stuck around and went down there. And I wasn't expecting the other two coaches to go with me and two of the captains to go with me. But that was really an awesome day, and I think that was, as AJ said earlier, that was a great bonding experience for our team. You know, I let the athletic director know, and you know, she really commended us for just the way that the team was about that. And I got an email from the principal as well, and Mr. Bell, like a bunch of people actually. She sent it out to everybody, which was really cool. So that is really on you guys, that we made that happen. That was really awesome. And how everybody's worked with George this season, I've really been happy with. So thank you guys. Then the next day we actually ran at Shrewsbury. This was another great day because a lot of our guys that ran there had their fastest times of the season. Basically, Shrewsbury is a road course. It's fast. Even though they got the big hill, it's pretty fast, but it's a good course to run. The weather was not raining, and the entire day there was nothing on the radar. It just wasn't raining, but a lot of people ran really well. One guy in particular ran well. He had a huge improvement, breaking 6-minute pace for the first time of his running career. His best average mile last year was 6:18. This year he got down to 5:59. So our most improved is Alan Kafig. I don't know if I have these in the right order. Nope, I gotta dig through. I normally put these in order. I'm sorry. Sorry. Here we go. Nice job, Alan. Sure. Let's do that. All right, then we got to our under the lights meet. So most of you were there, most of you ran it. It was a ton of fun. I'm so glad we made that happen this year. So a couple highlights from that. Well, Colin Barr got to win a race. It was really awesome to see Colin get out there and run really well. Elliot McMahon led the only important part of the race, which was the very end of it. Nice job, Elliot. The last 50 meters is what he led, and that was all that mattered. Cale ran an incredible 2-mile. He basically led the entire thing. If you go back and watch the video, he was just out front all the time, which is really hard to do, which was really awesome. And then right after he finished, we had 5 guys come in the next 2 seconds. So it was really cool because all of a sudden those guys took off. Cale was way ahead halfway through that lap, and everybody really kicked and almost caught up to him. Logan James had a huge PR that day. I think 22 seconds. Is Logan here? No. Well, Logan had a great PR that day. So the final heat that night was an interesting race. So the fast heat went out way too fast for the first lap. Then they came back and they were going way too slow. And then Tim Mosher was like, nah, I'm gonna lead this. Then a couple laps later, Mikey was like, no, I'm gonna lead this. And then Colin was just running like this the whole time. And then Cooper's like, no, I'm just gonna run all over the white line the entire race. So I went back and I looked at this video many times. And then Alan decides, well, this is too easy, so I'm going to run in lane 2 for the first mile. And then Scholl was like, no, guys, I'm just going to chill back here. And Dan Hastings did not feel that the crowd was doing enough work, so he comes through and he starts doing this. I don't know if you guys saw that. And then Adish Jain, he's like, no, I'm going to run on the white line. and then draft off Colin. And then Mikey and Timmy were like, peace, and they took off. And then AJ was like, no, my turn to run all over the white line. And then Ryan Bentley was just waiting in the car for Colin. And then Adish was like, no, I'm going to draft off Dan now. And then Cooper's like, hey guys, baseball. And then Timmy's like, hey Mikey, check out my back.
How long does that last?
And then Shoal said, no, guys, I'm going to chill back here. And then Mikey's like, no, Timmy, check out my back. And then we get to the last 100, and AJ goes, oh, wait, we're racing, and takes off. And then Alan goes and passes a whole bunch of people in the last straightaway. And then Shoal's just like, nah, guys, I got the most cheering because I was on the track the longest. So that's pretty much how that race went. Now, there is one guy that had a particularly good race, not just that race, but a couple races before that. He's been running really well this season. He is our MVP, and that is Michael Lalachar. Coach Egan's finding it over there. Congratulations. Yeah, sorry, I don't have that in order. He's going to give it. All right, at this point, guys, I'm going to have the coaches come up. The assistant coaches are going to give recognize a couple of people. Now, well, I will recognize the assistant coaches first. So we've got Coach Egan. Coach Egan was class 2012. I coached him for 4 years. And he's been around helping me since he graduated from college, and he's been awesome to have around. He's been really great talking to people a lot about just daily life and things like that, and also about racing. He just checks in with people a lot. He's been really great all the years I've had him. So Coach Egan has been awesome. Now Coach Isaac, this is his first year back. And I can't get him to stop talking. He just talks so much. He's got a lot of great advice. No, it's been great to have Coach Isaac around. He was kind of a last minute person that decided to help out this season. He was like, hey, turns out I don't have a job, so I might as well help you. So he's been here. It's been great because he has a lot of great racing experience. He's faster. He's very fast. Still is very fast. So he's been awesome to have around. He's been running with a lot of the varsity guys and really gives people great information on racing and stuff like that. So, all right, you guys can come up and give your awards. Thank you, guys.
As you guys all know, Coach Egan. So I just wanted to start out by saying that it was a great season all around. There are not many seasons that got to happen this year and happen the way that we wanted them to, but you guys made the best out of the situation that we have, and I can't say how proud that makes me that you guys just really kept working hard and making sure that you're following all the COVID restrictions. And it was a challenging year, but you guys rose to the occasion. I've been really proud of you guys. Team's been phenomenal with each other and just with racing competitively, thinking about each other and just trying to be there for everyone. I thought a person that did that specifically very well was Joey Bellafato. So my coach's award's going to go to him because his approach to the season is, I'm going to be an extremely good teammate. And I think he succeeded in that goal. I think he approached it being mindful of his teammates and helping everyone with whatever they needed help with, talking about whatever they wanted to talk about, and just making sure he was there for them. And there was a lot more opportunities than to rise to leadership like we only have 4 captains, but we needed more because we needed people to kind of show those leadership qualities in each group with all the different cohorts. And I thought Joey really rose to the occasion, so I wanted to give him a recognition in front of all of you. So, Joey Belafato.
Yeah, Joey.
Hey guys, so I guess before I give my coach's award, I'm just gonna say that obviously it was like my first season here coaching, and you guys are a great group of guys. I think obviously you handled the whole COVID thing super well. Everyone stayed positive, and I know everyone's future here is really bright. I can't wait to see what you guys are gonna do, whether that be an outdoor or next year in cross country. So for my award, I think whenever he was racing, he always had this like smile on his face, and just through talking to him, it became evident that he was really passionate about running and trying to get more into it and get a little bit more serious about his training. So my coach's award is going to go to Taylor Quigley. He's not here, but you recognize him anyway.
Yeah. I think it's over there. Oh, I put it up. Thanks for that. All right. So I'm going to mention a couple people as well. So a couple guys that haven't made it up here yet today that I think had good seasons, worked really hard. First of all, Jacob Diet. Jacob Diet has had a really good season. He had a great season last year. He trains really hard. He's just not, he's kind of quiet. He does his thing, and I think he doesn't always get the recognition for his hard work and his effort and his sportsmanship that he puts out there. So I want to make sure he got recognized. I know he's not here, but Logan James. Logan James, I think, had a good season. I don't know, he didn't necessarily run quite as fast as he wanted, but he did run really well on that 2 mile. And Logan James has worked hard and just not screwed around for 4 years. And he's been a good teammate. He's a great kid. He wasn't one of the top guys, but his membership on the team, I think, is just as important. So I want to recognize Logan. And then Elliot McMahon. Elliot McMahon has trained hard. He's raced well. His times were not what he wanted to be this season. He knows that. I know that.
I do know that.
But I think he has put in a lot of effort this season, and he has not gotten overly discouraged or negative or anything like that. He's always been out there, still training, still doing the workouts, still being part of the team, and I just thought he should be recognized for that. So. So the mix of all sorts of different certificate paper that I have is due to, at midnight when I was printing these last night, I realized that, I don't have nearly as much certificate paper as I thought. So who got what is just came down to what I had. So that's why there's all sorts of different looking certificates.
Making fun of you, paper.
All right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything, because sometimes I do. All right. So Tim Mosier said something earlier that I thought was really important, is that a lot of you guys trained really hard this season or this summer, not knowing if there was going to be a season. And that is really hard to do. And I was pushing people just to get out and run and train as if there was going to be a season, because you might as well, be in good physical shape and mentally enjoy the running. So that made it really challenging. I'm really glad we had a season, and this season has gone far better than I had expected. I worried that it was going to be really challenging getting everybody to wear masks, dealing with the town. I thought there were going to be a lot more complaints about from pedestrians about the way we were acting when we were running, and we really haven't had any issues. We really haven't had any issues this season. I think it's gone really well. So I'm really proud of you guys. I think it's been awesome. I have no idea what's going on over there.
They're not doing it.
So looking forward, guys, winter sports, we still don't really know much about those. The EEA has made some decisions and we don't know a lot. So you'll be hearing from me. You'll find out more stuff about that. Excuse me. Certificates I have back here. We can hand those out. I have to look up the list. So as I said in the email, top 10 get the varsity certificate and all the seniors. If it's your first time getting a varsity certificate, you get a letter. If it's your second time getting a varsity certificate, you get one of the little bars. Okay? I need to check the list to see who gets what. So make sure you take that before you go. Otherwise, I end up with piles of those at home. And I think that's about it. Yeah. So guys, thanks for a great season. I really hope that next fall we have a totally different. I hope that in the spring we have something different. I don't know what's going to happen, but you guys have been awesome. It's really been a good year. So thank you very much. Thank your parents. It's gone very smooth, and I'm very happy. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
So anybody, Anton through Chang is going to come to me.
Arthur B? No, Arthur, the beginning of varsity.
Chang through Quigley.
Yeah.
Elliot through Shout.